quite the week here to start off Stage 2 in the Overwatch League, but generally the balance of power seems to be much where we left off in Stage 1. We'll have time to ruminate a little bit more about that after this next match coming up. The Chengdu Hunters look pretty damn good after Stage once more. The Washington Justice, well, maybe not just as dominant or at all, actually, coming to this one. We're still yet to really see them hit their stride. We got to see a couple different looks from them earlier this week. Exactly. But in general, you'd have to think this is going to be quite the matchup for them after Chengdu breezed past Paris earlier this week.
Oh, the Hunters were sick the other day against the Paris Eternal. I think they've really kind of turned themselves into fan favorites. They play a really interesting style of play that teams do not, really kind of, they haven't figured it out. Can't even play anything close to
Cruz was saying, with one day to realistically prepare to play these guys, we had no idea what to come up with. And again, he was saying, we just had to try and adapt on the fly to what they were doing and try and theory craft whilst trying to play the game, whilst also trying to stay positive after, struggling map after map. Now, if you think Paris did have a decent start to the week, of course, the first match they prepared for against the Defiant was a bit better. But let's talk a little bit more about Corey, who looked quite good, especially in the final map of Washington's last series, Matt. We saw him only play Zarya in Stage 1. Now, a bit of a diversified portfolio he's been able to put forward.
Yeah, a hero that we've heard he was very strong on leading into the Overwatch League this year was his Widowmaker. He played a really strong Widowmaker the other day. I think you're really going to need to see Corey pop off in a big way today if they're going to be able to take out the Hunters.
To get so many stars on the opposite sides of the stage, the Washington Justice definitely need to push some of their own into the spotlight. So let's start that off right here. Everybody, welcome to the stage, the Washington Justice. Corey leading the charge. His team is not winless. So they are 1-7 currently. More opportunities to pick up wins throughout the course of this stage. It is a team also that's been experiencing some adjustments. Ark now being part of this team. We are very interested to see how his influence is felt, or at least how it manifests now as he sits in that support role.
In Brent's power rankings, based off of primary colors, are pretty high up.
They got red and that's
red and blue. I mean, that is
the only team that's stronger is Paris that has yellow as well, right?
Ark coming in as the main support over from NYXL. He was really like a mainstay, the main support for NYXL last year for most of the season. Then Animo takes over, and now after that, they don't really need Ark, because Animo can play most of the main support. So they get Ark, very good shot caller, can speak really good English as well to be able to communicate to Corey, to include him with the rest of the comms. So I feel like Ark over time will be a big piece of this team.
And their opponents would like to say, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and video games. Welcome to the stage, everybody, the Chengdu Hunters. Now, what really let this team down, I feel like, in Stage 1, that was losing games they just shouldn't have. Like, no reason to drop a few of these matches. They had some stiff opposition. Of course, Vancouver Titans was one of the teams had to go up against, but consistency still eluded them a little bit. And with their play style, it kind of makes sense, right? They play aggressive. Sometimes they overextend, they go too far. Maybe they're not always able to put up the same numbers, but that has definitely got to be something that this team is aiming for, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, they have a play style, and they dare you to come in and beat it. And they're not going to change their game. They're going to play aggressive. They're going to play a little bit wacky. And I think, like you mentioned what Cruz said the other day, like trying to theory craft and figure it out on the fly is incredibly difficult, because then what happens is the Hunters now have a solid 3-3 composition to fall back on with the main tank here in the middle.
And we talk about Amon a lot. We spend a lot of time discussing the main tank player.
But it's work.
Well, it is work, and it also makes sense. This guy is the guy to beat if you're going to try and get past the Chengdu Hunters. Obviously, I think the percentage of Wrecking Ball played by Chengdu is like 87% compared to a league average of 23 or something similar. So, yeah, we can see here, like, the next closest is 109 minutes.
I mean, what do you do when he comes down with like a pile driver, and then you have Bacon Jack putting down the consistent damage, with the 76?
See what happened to Finzi there? Yeah. He gets the knockup, bit of damage, and then there's someone following up. Elsa was there on the tracer. Someone who's always there. But something that Chengdu are very good at doing is playing together. If they're going to play aggressive or passive, that's fine, because they do either one of those as a unit.
And I mean, you see the seconds between knockbacks. When you have the 6 seconds and the Forest coming down, putting some rockets, very difficult to stay at the same spot. Get anything going. It's a map set presented by Toyota. It'll be Oasis to kick things off. Probably not a map that Washington wanted to see. Very good map for Jinmu's Farah.
It will be interesting, I think, as the series goes through. King's Row is part of the map pool here. That's a map where teams are still preferring to play more tank-oriented compositions. We're seeing some bunker comps on defense on that map. But Reinhardt is still as strong as ever. That is something that Chengdu are able to show.
The Hunters will just play Symmetra on offense.
Do it. That looks fantastic on Hanamura. I mean, we gave Elsa the honors. Elsa was player of the match previously for the Hunters for his Symmetra play. But now we're off and running. Gardens is where it begins. So there's going to be Sombra Pharah composition here from the Hunters, but the Justice do go for a bit more of a tank-based composition. No damage dealers on that roster.
And they are going to play the Moira here, so no Zenyatta in play for the Justice. They'll play Moira instead. And Janish taking some damage here from Eamon, just going to go back. You have Jinmu's Bar just putting down damage as well. Big pile driver coming down.
Yeah, Eamon just trying to shake Justice off their purchase as they try and engage all together. And notice that he gets his ultimates very quickly. Just knocking into people at speed is helping him get that bar charged up nicely. Justice going down first. Again, a tank who has in the past been criticized of just finding himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'd say this would be the same here. He does get caught out. And look, Washington, I feel like, want to play like the Toronto Defiant, Matt. They want to play no nonsense. They want to play solid fundamentals here. But Chengdu are kind of the antithesis to that play style.
Yeah, I feel like if you try and come in and play the norm against the Hunters, you're going to lose. I think you need to run something that really, they were talking about it on the way in. It's like, you need to dedicate like so many resources to get rid of the Wrecking Ball.
How do you stop Wrecking Ball right now, like realistically? How many stuns do you need?
With the way he plays Wrecking Ball, you're going to need like at least 2. I think just having the ring, not enough.
Minefield now being deployed. Janus down to half already. Pretty much instantly eliminated. Once more, the main tank for the Washington Justice is MIA. And then the follow-up from Jinmu, who always seems to be there. And the barrage will end that fight again. Washington Justice back to the drawing board.
I mean, you're going to walk into, they're going to have Transcendence here. You're going to have an EMP for the Hunter, so you just use your Minefield, Rocket Barrage there. You did use Valkyrie as well, so.
I mean, they have still a lot to work with though, man. You can see this composition that Chengdu are playing is one that they are quite comfortable with, something that other teams don't really go for. Bacon Jack hoping for a big EMP. He was revealed there as well. It could be dangerous, but have to translocate out. And he does.
Who do you land this grab onto, though? Everybody can play so spread out here for the Hunters.
Amon. You try and get Amon with the grab. I think you try and burst him down as quickly as you can before you get EMP.
I guess Amon would be the answer.
Yeah. There's the EMP, though. 3 players caught by that one. Guido's still able to get the Coalescence off, so healing available for the Justice on that high ground. But the Chengdu Hunters still have positional advantage here. You see, they're not really in a hurry to push off. A lot of ultimates being used, and that's the grab. It's Bacon Jack that gets caught, but he'd already used the EMP. Essentially, his job had been done. Self-destruct will zone the point, and it will catch Janus as well. Again, unfortunate end for the Winston here, the Washington Justice. Now they need to get it done without Janus, their leader from the front. Corey charged up on the high ground, but it falls to a barrage here. Jinmu very lucky to get out alive. It looked like from behind he was being shot by Guido. Now Ark pretty much left on his own here. There will be Janus returning to the fight with Primal Rage. The Justice have to win this fight here. They haven't won one yet in this particular round, and it's already 99% on the clock for the Chengdu Hunters. Amon hoping to chase down Sunsum. He gets the finish. Not as flashy as knocking him off the edge, but just as effective. And he has his shield available as well. That adaptive shield for Amon if he wants to go aggressive. He does use it, backs out. So durable right now, so hard to take down.
Oh, he's going to get another Minefield with the knockbacks, the amount of damage he's put down. He's going to get a final blow here onto Corey. If you're the Justice, we just saw Paris lose running a similar setup against the Hunters. You probably should have had some kind of game plan that was a different variation, something a little bit different to come out here.
Well, that is fair. I mean, the Justice had a couple of days to see the tape from the previous Hunters outing to try and get some information from it, but they straight up just got hustled into neutral. Simple as that. Will it be a composition change? Maybe you see them try and answer this Pharah pick, Matt. Especially on a map like University here, where it is more encouraged.
I think McCree's a good pick here for Corey, as you can have the McCree to potentially stop some of the flankers. Another stun onto the Wrecking Ball. Obviously good against the Pharah in the sky. The McCree makes a ton of sense here.
Out of the gates once more, Chengdu with Bacon Jack on the 76, and now Elsa is playing the Sombra. So this team, again, happy to chop and change their composition, and they've got the players to support it. Washington try and set Corey up to actually be safe while he'll be able to have an impact over the fight. Jinmu is playing quite carefully himself.
And this is the same exact thing that they did the other day, where it was like Bacon Jack would go underneath and go on these long flanks. So he actually comes back to play from his team side now. The other day when they tried the flank, it didn't work, as Jinmu Concussive Blast, just trying to separate some players here from the Justice.
Yeah, it looked like Guido actually got given a repair pack from Ardo there, which is not normally a priority. He almost got burst down by Chengdu, who was just playing from extreme range, harassing, constantly just taking chunks out of health pools here. And look at this, Corey can't get eyes on Chengdu right now. If he wants to do that, he has to push out of safety, which would, again, make him subject to all the damage that's coming from above. Corey went down already, brought back to life. Guido needs to be careful here, and Giannis has finally caught the scent of Chengdu, but can't catch him.
I mean, he's going into the sky trying to get the Mercy out, and able to get Valkyrie now, going to use it.
Wow, from the top row. That's it. Amon tries to drop on top of Giannis here, who got hacked immediately after. Sansam at risk of losing his mech here. Nivatal goes down. No, it was actually Elsa. I thought Corey would be able to pick up the Mercy as well, but the Deadeye still gets one kill. Chengdu, though, strolls inside a small enclosed space and uses power.
Nobody's still controlled the point.
Yeah, still first fight going. Amon could capture it right now.
But he gets off.
Actually, just capture it. No, he wants to fight. He doesn't want to play the objective, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Keo Janet there as well.
You Transcendency just for your habit, by the way.
Not?
Two players, Transcendence seems like a great play. Chengdu finally win the point. They definitely don't do it without style.
That feels like the longest first fight we've had in a very long time. So, now the Hunters will start to accrue percentage here. You do have the attack visor in play for Bacon Jack. No shield on the other side. I mean, you just have like the defense makes you speed it all up. But see if Corey, when he gets his Deadeye, can potentially get another pick off. But it's so difficult for Corey because he's got to deal with the Wrecking Ball diving in, the Sombra, and the Pharah rockets coming down.
Just a couple too many threats for McCree. One is enough, generally. Okay, spell name on here.
Ooh!
Bacon Jack going down. He tried, of course, to go for the tactical visor, but Guido was able to stop him in his tracks. Now to the rest of the Chengdu Hunters need to lift. They're down to 5 players. Kyo also falls the minefield.
What was that?
Janus!
He just jumped into it.
Did the mines fall down the middle of the pit? Did Janus walk into it when he tried to drop down?
I was watching from the top down. He actually jumped from the high ground onto the mines and then jumped to the low down. There's another mine underneath.
So brave, protecting the rest of his team from the mines like that.
Yeah, that's
you love to see it.
That's the way to put it.
There's an EMP for Elsa here. McCree's still relatively effective when EMP. He just kind of can't stun anything or roll away, so he needs to just fly by the seat of his pants with a 6-shooter. Jimmy close to barrage now. It's also okay. Ardo goes for the rally. It was an EMP that came in and actually caught him towards Janus. Great time for a Deadeye. And Corey's satisfied with just catching Chengdu there. He doesn't want to hold that any longer. But it's a 1-for-1 trade. But Janus is brought back. Bacon Jack, Bloodic Field thrown down, and Corey didn't have the window to finish him off after the stun hit. But the Justice are in control of the point here, Matt. The Hunters are the ones that have to step up and reclaim.
Yeah, just nice positioning from Corey. Didn't get hit by that EMP, and he's able to use the Deadeye. He puts that down a few nice shots, I believe, on Elsa before he decides to use his Deadeye.
Corey almost picked off Evil Tal at extreme range, though.
So you have Jinmu switch over to Brigitte here. Bacon Jack will play the McCree. So you're bringing out McCree of your own here for the Hunters.
That's a big double. We like those. We've seen Bacon Jack play much McCree yet. Again, no positioning here. Sunsum mitigating a lot of that damage. We're getting caught out in the process. Ardo also going over the edge from the whip shot. Trying to make a very small change. It doesn't seem to be that massive, but a big difference here. Getting rid of the Mercy, going towards that Lucio and the McCree in Bacon Jack's hands. He's doing well to stay sharp and safe. Corey, talk to him, bro.
Hey, the Justice do get new 77% though. Now you see the Hunters getting aggressive.
Guido's lucky. He just saved his own life with that sleep dart.
We'll see. Maybe use the minefield to help everybody get out of this. Be Transcendence used here. Deadeye gonna be popped.
Good way to burn the clock down a little bit, Matt. Yeah. No one was gonna push into that. Again, another sleep dart from Guido connecting. It's like a Viking war horn. And Bacon Jack's gone off to Valhalla now. Corey ran him over. Janus going for the pile driver, but Ardo wasn't really the kind of target he was looking for. Chengdu have drawn even here, but if they overextend, like they kind of already have, they may not have a chance to reclaim.
Another sleep that's come out. Oh, wait. No way! All right.
Oh, it almost gets away, dude. All right, Keo has to back away there. Corey started to hit some of these shots. Very satisfying headshot, ringing out. Chengdu about to lose control of the point here. They probably could do that. As long as they don't get staggered and chased down, they're fine. They might just opt to commit anyway. That seems to be the Chengdu thing to do here. Janus staying pretty safe now, but a sound barrier on Chengdu means they're ready to brawl, and Ardo has already gone down. Janus forced to go for the Primal Rage. Hard to say where he's heading right now, just trying to sow some chaos in the back line, but he gave up all of his health. as a result. And now Corey has fallen. He lacks protection. Sunsum on his own, desuited, and Bacon Jack ready to Deadeye just to zone him, prevent Washington from contesting it all. They don't even get a chance. It's a pretty slick play coming out from the Hunters, and the McCree in Bacon Jack's hands. It's real nice.
Now, it's the ability for the Hunters to play their wacky playstyle, but also mirror opposing teams now that has really made them a scary opponent. Being able to bring out the McCree there at the end, help them get that victory. And map number 1 will be back with map number 2 right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
Pretty clinical from Chengdu. Over that first map, Oasis going their way pretty comfortably. A little bit of a struggle in that second round. Justice making some adjustments in team comp, and again, you can see Corey, the player that is definitely able to start to create momentum around him. Unfortunately, we saw Bacon Jack say, okay, well, do the classic. This is what McCree mains do, by the way. If you get killed in game and you're playing anything by McCree, you immediately switch to McCree. Doesn't matter what the composition is on your team, and you hunt the enemy McCree, and then you try and assert dominance. You T-pose, try and shoot them, flash them, doesn't matter.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about how you loved when McCree's played McCree into Widowmaker. I thought the really long sightlines. That's one of my favorites as well.
That is probably, yeah, they'll do it. They'll try to. And it takes 3 shots. They hit 2, then Widowmaker just sits there and finds their head. I don't think we'll see that on this map, though. I'm pretty sure both teams have adept Widowmakers, although I don't know if Amon is one of them.
It would be crazy if he did, but I doubt it. It looks like the Justice will come out.
I mean, we get it. He's a huge unit. I don't know if he needs to.
He'll come out of the bunker on defense. Interesting Otto playing the Widowmaker. We've seen Corey play the hit scan. Otto, we kind of know more as like a projectile player. As you see, that would be point B. Point A is where we're seeing the Justice set up right in front of right now. So, of a bunker comp here, Arc playing the Batiste. The Hunters don't have to change much anything. They're going to play what they play.
We're playing double flankers here, so this will be a potential headache for the Justice. Who do they send back to deal with Tracer and Sombra? Won't be Otto, I'll give you the big tip. So Washington want to try and hold their ground and not let Chengdu slip through the gaps. If they do,
they're going to change. Genji, okay, so this is a...
Ooh,
okay. So this is our first look at this from the Hunters. I guess this would be this is a really strong dive. You really want to put pressure on this Bastion right now. It looks like Amon's going up for the high ground here. You're going to send the Genji with the supports to the left of the Bastion.
Amon has gone all the way around back behind the Justice, by the way. He's almost actually at point B. So he's gone far and wide. The rest of his team.
Another sleep from Vito, by the way.
Yep.
It's like his 3rd or 4th one today.
Yeah, he nailed Bacon Jack quite a few times in that previous round. So Amon is waiting basically for the rest of the Hunters to be in position. They need to get all together without getting picked off or eating a sleep dart here. Now, most of the heroes are pretty good at doing that, pretty good at, getting into position. Ana not so much, so she needs to stay safe. And here it is out of absolutely nowhere. Amon appears in a flash of orange. He's gone again.
Let me tell you what though, I like when the hunters play this with the Foreign. Amos goes again as he's gonna get one. There goes the immortality field, but Corey's gonna be able to live through it, obviously. You take out 3. I like when they play this with the Foreign. I'm not exactly sure you have enough overall damage with the Genji. Like, well, the idea with the Genji is just like they
don't have shield pressure at all. And you saw a really nice play from Arc to put down the immortality field and keep Corey alive. Otherwise, it could have gone either way.
It's like, I kind of like this setup when you either have like the Hanzo in for the Hunters or the Pharah. I think it's going to be a very difficult comp to break with the amount of damage you have.
Okay, looks like Corey, he does manage to get that tank configuration out. He was hacked, but the ultimate still works. He gets 2 point-blank deals with Keo. He had a rocket deflected at him there, but notice that he's playing well within the bounds of that immortality field, which behind the shield of Orisa is really hard to get to.
I mean, Amon's doing a nice job of knocking Janice off of this high ground, displacing him with the rolls, and then you're just leaving the Bastion there, but they're doing a nice job using that immortality field, pumping Corey with the heals, being able to keep him alive.
And Arc can heal him from long range. I mean, this might be a bit nasty though. EMP comes out first. Mana boost being applied here, but Arc's immortality fields have been taken down. Amplification Matrix also being committed to the fight. Jinmu doesn't seem to care too much about that, and the Batista ultimate kind of goes by the wayside. Jinmu has found Corey, and you better believe he's not going to let him just chill and wait for the fight to go his way. Bacon Jack gets rid of Corey. There's a minefield up on the points of the Justice. Kind of have to play inside until they're gone. Jinmu going in for the kill now after a couple of deflects have left the enemy Ana low. Ditto needs to be careful. Pulse Bomb dropped in a small room, but no effect. Bacon Jack doesn't connect with it. Another immortality field from Arc goes down. Self-destruct outside of the point here, but Bacon Jack, there's too much healing inside that small room for him to pick off any of those targets.
Yeah, and they're going to use the nano boost here onto the Wrecking Ball, just trying to gain some extra damage, extra sustain on the point. And going to invest the sound barrier into this as well, the Hunters. They know this is like a last-ditch effort on the point.
Yeah, they're kind of running out of time. They're really going for it now. Both teams with the Wrecking Ball. Jinmu just clearing out that immortality field. You see it takes a while to actually get rid of that drone. You really need to focus it down. And if it's just one player like Jinmu, then it takes a while. EMP once more coming out. The Justice are affected. Janus now showing a little bit of his Wrecking Ball action, but Amon was the progenitor, the father of the Hamtaro. Now Sansan will take his time here on the point. Defense Matrix being stretched to its absolute limit, but he finds 2 great kills. Getting Q and Evil Killer was just huge. Amon was hacked and then taken down. And Hunters try something a little bit wacky back, but it doesn't look like it's worked.
Such a good defensive stand for the Justice. They're able to just extend these fights for so long. You may get a touch here. If you're the Hunters, it's not looking good though. You have to have this blade be massive.
That's gotta be huge. Jinmu pulls the blade here. Goes around to the other side, thinks twice about going inside that small room. He knows there's an immortality field there, so there's no point playing it. He has to go there anyway, try and get rid of the field and find some kills on top, but it did not work at all. Sansan demexed. Elsa just got blown up there by Guido, finding 2 in the fight. He's been excellent on this map. And the previous one, Tio, sound barrier now will keep him alive a little bit longer, but Ado is absolutely tunnel visioned on getting rid of that motor, now transitioning over. And the Justice, solid defense. They should be happy with that. Got a couple of looks thrown at them by the Hunters. Some wacky stuff, but they held strong. They played good fundamentals.
It's like Guido's got like 13 sleeps through the first like basically 2 maps. I mean, through the half here, as he's been a difference maker on the Ana. We'll be back with the Justice attack right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
the support players on the Washington Justice look fantastic on this map, man. Obviously, Guido with numerous sleep darts, but this guy here, Arc, on the Batiste, prevented 2 deaths, but actually, in reality, more than that because of just the way that seeing that immortality field prevents, opponents from even going in. So there's implied death prevention, attached to that ability. Nicely done, Arc, doing a great job of keeping Corey up, and Washington make the Bastion work. Yeah, it's becoming commonplace.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
A ton of healing that comes out from Arc. 60% of the healing of the Justice there done by him on the Batiste in the first half. So really good half. I was talking about how it seemed like the Hunters had some kind of being able to break that bunker composition pretty easily. They opt to not play Chengdu on Pharah, and then that's the one time that they're not able to do it. So I think they just need a little bit more shield pressure to get past that. I just don't think you had it with the 3 flankers there, but
they had it with an EMP. They got rid of shields that way, but that was it.
So now with Washington's attack, let's see what they decide to do. Double sniper potentially here. Guido was a DPS player in the past.
No reason. Genji or anything else. Tracer as well. So
a little bit of scouting.
The Hunters play what we call like the treehouse composition. So they're playing sort of 2 long-range damage dealers in Jinmu and Bacon Jack, so the Widow and the Junkrat. And then, they have a lot of protection available. They play aggressively to start the round. So you see a shield thrown up on the high ground, and then they just rotate back a little bit, play safer. The Justice just wait that out.
Yeah, the Justice, if they're going to play this, they're going to play around a lot of just pickoffs, right? With the 2 snipers, you just have Lucio, 4 heals. You're really going to rely on, Janice, Samsung, Otto to stay alive on their own.
Remember, Wrecking Ball cannot be headshot while he's in that ball mode. He does not have a headshot hitbox. So he, a little stronger against sniper-based compositions. Otto hunting down Bacon Jack here. Gonna be tough for Bacon Jack to get out of this one, and Janus drops in at just the right time. Someone must have put the bat signal up. Now in a 5v6, Chengdu are in a bit of trouble here, especially with the position that Janus has been able to take behind their lines.
Yeah, they have nothing to deal with the sniper of Corey at long range, so he's going to be able to just hit shots with this Widowmaker as things have opened up here for the Justice.
Oh, Arc though, getting picked off in midair. Keo found him. That's massive. Jinmu also able to get rid of Janus was big. Janus seemed pretty comfortable just getting around with his adaptive shield, but now it's not over for the Hunters. Amon has fallen to Ardo. The pressure's still being applied by the Justice here. Bacon Jack's going to try and answer this, but I mean, he's not faring much better than he did on Widow, and Evil Tal needs to be careful. There's a pulse bomb here for Ardo. He will use it, and he gets eaten by Elsa.
As Elsa eats it up, but you do lose your Mercy, though, so Corey now on the Widowmaker starting to find these picks at range. Can they get to the point, though, as you have Amon switch over off of Orisa, back to Wrecking Ball?
Well, Matt, it's already been almost half of the Justice's time burned down now. Oh, Jinmu! Yeah, he ran headfirst into that one. He knew that he was going to be facing it. That's a scary Dragon Strike. This could be nasty. Guido throws it in. Chio cowering in the corner, trying to avoid it. But eventually, Ardo will run him down. Jinmu has been brought back into the fight, and Amon is here to stall for a decent amount of time, but Corey's popping off on the high ground. And that should get the job done. Washington Justice paved the way with a strong defense. They'll take map number 2.
Yeah, they get the Bastion on defense to work, and then on offense, double sniper set up. Arc just playing the Lucio to get the speed boost in, get a little bit of healing onto the point. But Corey, 10 final blows there. Big Widowmaker in the offensive half.
There we go. We're going to be breaking things down in our halftime segment. We will return with our next 2 maps.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The Washington Justice are giving the Hunters a run for their money after dropping map 1. They get a fold on Anubis to tie things up at 1 apiece. We are back in the Blizzard Arena, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise if you're still awake. Everybody here? Yep, yeah. It's Sunday night. We've been partying all week long. And we have a good match to close this one out. A lot of people online were saying, all right, after Chengdu's performance against Paris yesterday, this team's going to come in and 4-0 sweep the Justice. But we got a tie game. However, it did look pretty familiar going back to Oasis. It was all the wrecking ball once again. Brendan, what were we seeing from your favorite player of all time?
A little bit of Eamon, you know, just rolling around, doing the roly-poly maneuvers as he does, just kind of crashing into a lot of people and getting a lot of kills and setting his team up, really. I mean, it is just a joy to watch at this point because you just know what's coming. They play so well around the wrecking ball. They know exactly how to play around his limitations. I mean, Eamon has just got better and better now as well, given the fact that he can now use his adaptive shields when he's just rolling around. A couple of times in this game alone, in this map, he has just survived in scenarios when he just shouldn't have.
Yeah,
so.
it's crazy. This patch was like a buff to Eamon, basically. And the Chengdu plays so well around it. Look at this. Wrecking Ball on Oasis died twice. Played it the entire time, basically. Just putting up ridiculous numbers. It doesn't fit every map, but on the maps that it does, plays fantastic.
He is so darn good. I mean, what did he do? Block a Deadeye as well?
Yeah, blocked the Deadeye with his adaptive shield.
Pretty great stuff. Now, Bren, we just watched some highlights, but I feel like we need to break it down for people at home. Can we get a little visual?
Absolutely.
Yeah, break it.
So,
how'd that work?
I've got a couple of Eamons here, and Josh, would you mind demonstrating something for me?
Shall I be the
Could you be the Justice in map 1?
You need me to hold your mic?
Yeah, could you?
Yeah.
Hold that one for me.
I got you.
I mean, sports was never my
we know.
strong suit. I'm not going to lie to you. But
Here's your mic back. You're fine. You're totally fine. All right. So what was happening in that game 1, Brad?
So basically, you have Eamon here playing Wrecking Ball in the form of an orange, and he's the Justice. And I'm going to warn you, Josh, when it's happening. So 3,
What do you mean?
2.
What?
I missed
my
completely.
God.
I missed completely.
He doesn't always connect.
It's okay.
He doesn't
Sometimes
always
it's hit
connect.
or miss. It's hit or miss. Don't worry. Okay, but this one's going to connect.
We got a lot of Aemons. Don't hit
3,
the screens.
2.
They're very expensive. Oh, my.
Okay, more oranges.
More oranges.
Okay. All right. It's coming.
Soft,
I will
softer,
actually
Brent,
count
softer.
Softer. Okay.
Oh!
All right. Okay.
That's going to leave a bruise.
This is. I apologize.
This is Eamon, by the way. Eamon are your oranges.
Last one for Eamon.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, Eamon didn't prep Washington Justice when he rolled into them, so I'm not going to do the same for you. Just going to come at you. Just any moment now.
Oh, God, that's a screen, Brad.
It's gone for the screen.
All right,
I hit
it's
the
okay.
LED screen.
So
he's
wrap this up, Brad.
There's a couple of hit or misses, but he's managed to build up his ultimate. And I've got some mines here for us as well.
There we go.
I don't know if you can actually see these, but there you go. A couple of mines as well.
Just a few.
Just sprinkle that all over the Justice.
That was good.
And suddenly they're trapped in Eamon's little prison of mine.
And we all learned that they don't play baseball in England. Let's take a look at map 2, though, because the Washington Justice got a little bit of revenge. Here's a look at how they did it. Brendan, that was the worst sketch we've ever done.
Yeah, that was actually terrible. I won't lie to you, mate. That was actually awful.
All right, here we go. So we see all kinds of DPS. Corey starts on the bash and had some big plays there with the ultimate. But ultimately, I think the most impressive thing is we did not see Chengdu go to the second point. They got stuffed here on their attack.
Yeah, and I think this is more faults of Chengdu than it was excellent play from Justice, but they did have a very cohesive defense going on. And I think Chengdu just didn't really understand how to break the hold of the Washington Justice and ended up being very uncoordinated on their offense. They're normally pretty good. They can set up the dives, but Justice just stayed on the point and continued to kind of hold it, stall it. And in the end, Chengdu weren't able to get anything done. So I think...
Where have you been?
I'm just grabbing some oranges. There you go, Brad.
God almighty.
Pretty impressive stuff. All right, we're going to wrap up halftime on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all tied up 1 apiece. Let us know who comes out on top of this one in the chat right now. Tweet out as well at Overwatch League. Guys, we got plenty more games. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch League returns. Game 3 after this.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
so we were waiting up here actually to get given some tomatoes so we could throw them at Brent now and give him a taste of his own medicine, but they didn't have any.
I bet you I could hit Brent from here with
kind
that orange.
of out of season. Yeah, well, his head's that big. Anyway, welcome back. 2 maps already out of the way, and that previous one there from the Chengdu Hunters didn't look as good. Temple of Anubis.
His head's huge.
Temple of Anubis. Their attack was a little bit weird, right? We saw everyone like really try and wrap like right around behind them with the wrecking ball play, and they couldn't really break this Bastion down. It didn't seem like a complicated thing to break, but Chengdu seemed to be adamant in playing the way they were playing.
And the Hunters play Pharah on like every map, and then when the one time they could have used like some of the extra poke damage of like let's say a Pharah or a Hanzo, where Jinmu plays a fantastic Hanzo as well, they decided to go with the Genji, where they're just trying to a really strong dive, but
I mean, Genji against Immortality Field. Yeah. You can see the obvious non-bow there.
Well, you saw when they used the Immortality Field and he popped Dragon Blade, didn't even want to go in there to try and fight it off.
Against a bunch of supports that are going to heal each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was waiting for Amon to go in and knock it out, but
he wasn't about that. He was off doing something else.
No.
So I think pretty sure he was off teaching his ways to more of the masses. So Kings Row, look, I mean, the bunker comp on defense, we see Washington Justice.
I like it.
That's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, if they beefed trying to break it the last time, you may as well go with it again, right?
Here we go. It's going to be Soldier 76.
Oh, yeah. I was joking about at the beginning of the series, but why not?
What do you want to see him TP to?
Well, I don't think it'll be the high ground.
Maybe they just TP...
TP across. They can TP across to here, and then TP directly onto the high ground.
Theoretically, they won't be seen. They were seen, but theoretically, they could do that without being spotted.
Do they know the soldier didn't cross?
They don't. So Baker Jack is not with the rest of the team. He actually is snuck inside the little hotel. He was spotted by Sunsum though, so Sunsum has been sent to deal with Baker Jack. Hello. Trade greetings. Yeah, not really a great 1v1 for Baker Jack, I'll be honest with you. He realizes that that does not work.
Yeah, I mean, D.Va is so strong against, you know, a lot of the damage-dealing heroes one-on-one. And just a large HP pool, the defense matrix.
Oh, Amon, he's in trouble. Yep, nice Immortality Field.
You do have decent shield breaking potential with the Symmetra and, the Symmetra, the Orisa, and the Junkrat, but just the high ground positioning. It's way better here for the Justice. And you see the teleporter actually goes to the low ground and pushes the Justice back. So now looks like the Hunter's trying to set up here on the point.
Gun's going to force the Justice to try and challenge them out here. The Bastion can't do much from this position. It's hard for him to see over the lip. You see Corey Kid's trying to reposition, but getting close enough to the edge to be able to see people puts him outside of Justice's shield. Oh, well, still kind of worked out, I guess. The Hunter's just like, oh, he can do that.
And I think it's a miscommunication from the Hunters. Both of their supports actually teleport up to the high ground. They don't rotate with them.
I don't know about this one, Chief. Corey doesn't seem too bothered. He can just reposition if he needs to. Giant fire by Jinmu. And even without that self-destruct hitting anything here, Washington look pretty comfortable. Chengdu, some weird attacks here. Corey says, oh, Nanoboost, cool. I guess I'll go back to fighting. He was actually inside the Immortality Field. He opted to drop out of it because, hey, the fight was already over. 2 ticks for Chengdu amidst all of that, Matt. That is something. Symmetra barrier that didn't get much value, though.
So I think Bacon Jack now switching over to Hanzo. I think the Hanzo makes more sense, even more shield pressure for the Hunters. And I think the Dragon Strike, good ultimate to force people out of position. The Justice still going to set up here on the high ground. Know exactly where the TP came through. Is maybe they're trying to catch somebody off guard here as they rotate back. So Hunter's just trying to find an angle they can attack this from.
And that damage coming from Elsa there, the balls that are being fired are actually hard to get rid of. Sunsum canning. All right, so more point capture here, 72.3%. Now the amplification matrix used in case anyone tries to face the Hunter's front on, but Corey's going to go around the backside. Jinmu gets blown to smithereens, and Elsa is right on his heels. Kyo's not going to last through this one, and nor is Evil Tile. I'm glad we're off Disney XD, because we wouldn't have been allowed to show that.
The Justice only a minute away from holding the Hunters on their attack here as they have found something that has worked against the Hunters. Playing this Bastion bunker on defense.
When you have to, like, there is a point where you have to ask, what are the Hunters actually doing here?
Well, I mean, look, I think now that they'll have a Riptire here, maybe you're able to connect with the Bastion with the Riptire. You don't know if Bacon Jack's even going to get this Dragon Strike, which would be great to force the issue up on the high ground.
All right, now, I don't know, can't see, is that Infrasight? So He's pretty aware of what the Hunters are trying to do. 3-man biting grenade. Nice little mortality field thrown down to save Amon and Ko's life. This Riptire has to be gigantic, enormous. It's not enough. There was an immortality field there. Arc, the best laid plans sometimes go to waste. That one didn't. And getting rid of Kyo now as well. There's 10 seconds left in this one. Chengdu, they've got to find an opening, Matt. So far, they're pretty darn average. Now Arno's starting to line them up. Oh, Supercharger as well. Oh, Evil Dog just combusted immediately. Filthy.
That was Supercharger, Nano Boost, and the Amplification Matrix there on the Bastion.
Pretty sure Bastion's doing upwards of 900 DPS with all those things at that point. Solid stuff from the Washington Justice here. They've set themselves up for another potential quick map win. And they'll be happy about it. We'll see you after the break and see how quickly the Justice can close.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Well, that's 2 strikes for the Chengdu Hunters, Matt. They, again, go for a little bit of a weird attacking setup on King's Row, and it looks pretty bad. 3 strikes and they'll be out if they pull that off in the next map, but all Justice have to do now, Matt, is capture point A. Pretty much entirely, they need 83.7%, which, look, a solidly one team fight would end it. So Chengdu have to be pretty defensively solid, which, by the way, they just haven't been over the course of the
And they looked so strong the other day against Paris. And it's not like the Justice are running anything like way different.
No. The Hunters are messing around with some different stuff, though.
Yeah. So Elsa will play the Torbjorn sitting up on the high ground. You do not have a Batiste here for the Hunters. So you do have Jinmu back on the far now, but playing far on defense here, we usually don't see it that often because the other team, most likely on offense, runs snipers a lot. So
I like the Torbjorn, though. That's fun. I don't know how easy it will be to get value out of Torbjorn when there's a Pyro who doesn't touch the ground, a Widowmaker who won't get close, a Wrecking Ball who won't stay there, a Hanzo who will just climb the wall to safety, a Tracer who will just blink away. But I'm sure there is a reason.
So this is what they tried to do on Anubis, the Justice. Instead of playing Lucio, though, they're going to have Arc playing Mercy here. So potentially damage boost one of these long-range players. Whether it's Guido playing Hanzo or Corey playing Widowmaker, trying to get these easy.
Nicely done. That is so nice from Janus. He's knocked Amon off the high ground. Amon taking a lot of damage. Well, that's Torbjorn. Just saying. Just found Hano with the turret kill. But Jinmu also goes down. So team's down to a 5v5 here. There'll be a resurrect. Jinmu brought back to life. Janus, I don't think you want to be there. Jinmu takes him down now, and the Hunters repel the Justice.
This has been a really odd game. So now we have Jinmu trying to chase down Arc, who is just trying to waste more time. So finally could have died a little bit earlier there.
See, normally with Arc, it's going 2 by 2, but he was left alone for a while and got staggered out. So Justice had to wait a little bit.
Sansam's still behind enemy lines here on the Sombra. He's kind of gone really far, potentially like looking for like a spawn kill.
Or a coffee shop, perhaps.
He's wrapping around all the way, so maybe trying to get a hack here onto...
He's refilling the parking meter. Right. bring Jinmu down to earth now, which is pretty... Oh, okay, Jinmu's able to get inside.
He hides behind the turret.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a ledge there to jump onto, Jinmu would have just floated down and died. So, Sun, that was cute, I like it. Oh, Guido, I don't think that the Hunters were aware that Guido was there actually until he sort of showed himself.
They're not even looking at him.
To duck hunt though. The rest of the Justice here are playing very patiently. They were trying to wait for this first pick here. They do need to bear in mind that Evil will just resurrect that. So it's almost as if they need to go straight for that Mercy. Elsa finds Corey without turret, by the way. I don't even want to know how that happened.
Well, Corey keeps like trying to go up to the high ground, the platform right by the Hunters, and he's just getting taken out. There's the EMP that comes in from Sunsum. Let's see if they can follow it up.
Yeah, he used it just for Evil and Jinmu there, just to try and ground the both of them. But Guido's the one who's being grounded and sent to his room. No dessert for you.
Oh, yeah.
He gets resurrected, but Jinmu just slams him again. Okay.
I love it. This is the type of game I like to watch. It's Otto getting low here on the far. He's got no healing from his Mercies. He's gone really far, so he's back with Sansum, like back by the Hunter spawn point. How do you get use of the Torbjorn ult here with everybody so spread out? It's not like you really need area denial.
The Justice here, I mean, they have such a good opportunity to close, but they have a minute left, and they're using ults kind of randomly, but they get Evil Tile. That's huge. No resurrect available for the Hunters now, despite Mini Ghost side. Barrage from Jinmu trying to save the day, and he gets rid of Guido. Janus going down to a top turret is super not good, but Arc is there. Gets a kill and a resurrect. That's a player swing of 2, and that is big. The Justice now need to transition, get rid of that turret, because that thing seems more deadly than half of the Chengdu roster right now. No, now moving to the point. Transcendence here to buy a bit of time. Keolen, that one drove, but Bacon Jack is missing. Molten Core over on the point there. Also tries to let it go, and Amon is able to frolic amongst the daisies there, knowing that he can't be approached across the point. The Justice now starting to apply the pressure. The Vice Grip starting to come in. Amon had no idea that Corey is right there, and he still goes down. Evil Tile descends on the Lucio and finds the kill. 1 tick so far for the Washington Justice. They definitely need a bit more, but Otto is close to another barrage. He needs to get there, picked up another turret kill. Elsa gets it again. It's like having a 7th player on your roster, Chengdu. Oh, Washington Justice versus one turrety boy. Who's gonna win? Looks like the latter here now. Otto trying to save things here. Bacon Jack is low, still able to get the pick off of that enemy far away in overtime now. Bacon Jack trying to chase down, but Dino gets the pick on Jinmu. Man's missing. Arc, no resurrect for him. Corey standing still a little bit too long. Bacon Jack trying to get the finish, but Sansum is also there on the Tracer. It doesn't matter. Elsa goes missing. Yes, but Corey is down. A melee to finish. Bacon Jack with a pulse bomb if you should need it, but he doesn't. Tio finishes it off. What am I watching? What is this game? It doesn't make any sense.
The Hunters win!
The Chengdu Hunters will take map number 3. This is just stupid.
9 turret kills for Elsa with the Torbjorn. HP Omen turret of the game there.
That's 1.5 team wipes, bro.
Why not? Every time they need a kill, it was the turret picking it up.
I'm done. Someone get me out of here.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Danny Lim, and Chengdu is up 2-1 right now. But I talked with Washington at halftime, and they told me that they watched Chengdu VOD reviews, and they've been also doing internal scrims specifically to prepare for this match. The Justice said they feel confident in this meta because they have strong DPS players like Corey. We've got one more map to go, so let's see if they can turn that preparation into a win. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny. Yeah, that series went from a clan siesta to a clan fiesta awfully quickly. But I have to agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
There are some very strong DPS players on the Washington Justice. Both teams have them, and I'll be honest, that last round...
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of individual play. Obviously, the position that Torbjorn turret was placed in is quite annoying because you're pushing forward onto the point to try and deal with another player.
Yeah.
And the turret's just slamming you. And then you get boomed by it. It would get 7 times in a row.
It would get like picks at important times.
Yeah.
Like there were times where, I mean, look at this. 1,200 damage coming down from the turret.
Elsa at 500 blows.
9 turret limbs. So, I remember one time, like the Justice get an early pick and Otto's alive on Tracer, like a key person there when you're playing like Tracer with the Wrecking Ball trying to get pins, and he gets down by the turret. They're playing the Pharah drops the turret. It was just a wild game there.
And we've said this before about the Chengdu Hunters. Like, if you try and play their game, I mean,
nobody plays it like the Chengdu Hunters.
That's right. They will drag you down there and they'll make you play it like that, and then you'll wish you did it. 2 maps to 1 now. Kings Row. Probably we've seen, it's the least amount of Kings Row that we've seen in quite some time. So Gibraltar's next, which is, I'm kind of excited now. I mean, Washington have to win here to stay in the series. Chengdu, show us some more craziness.
What an incredibly odd score line for a series as well. 2-0 in the control, and then 1-0 on both of the next 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, we talked about these teams have no defense. Well, I mean, what happened then?
Where's the offense?
Exactly.
So we'll see now as we move on to Watch Point Gibraltar. So there, that was point B. They complete the map. This would be the ending point. So this would be point C.
No, neither team's played this map yet, by the way, so neither have any tape on each other. Gibraltar's kind of a different map, right? Like, you play some sort of specific stuff.
The way the series has gone, I mean, that may be your only looks at point B and C. Teams have been strong on defense, lackluster on offense. So we'll see the Hunters. They come out with a double sniper, 2-2-2. So 2 tanks, 2 supports, and double sniper here. So a little bit more of a traditional setup here for the Hunters as they come out on offense.
Be interesting to see if the healing capacity is sufficient for Washington. I'd say it probably is. I feel like you play Moira and you feel even better as Washington now, knowing what Chengdu are trying to play. However, the payload is on the move, and the Washington Justice here, they will engage probably as the payload moves just out of that underpass. Sunsum here is just trying to see if he can bait a commitment from Chengdu.
I mean, you can do some pretty nice stuff, though, with the Wrecking Ball, being able to pile drive people up into some shots that Bacon Jack or Jinmu could lay down.
It's even easy to hit them, and it's hard. That's a great point. Line up that headshot. Jinmu has a couple of seconds. You can't really control the rate that you fall when you get knocked up, so that is something. Janus is down, though. Not ideal for the Justice. And Corey trying to flank. Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, they may as well be down 2 players now. They're going to have to try and get Sunsum back in their mech as quickly as possible. He does, so he's already done that. The payload's on the move, though. Corey takes a huge hit to the side of the dome. Looking like Bren after he punched himself in the face during his sleep that time. That was new. Bacon Jack will play from the high ground here. He has the infraside map, but there's nothing really to see. Everything he needs to see is right in front of him, really. Janus going down yet again. And with the Dragon Strike cutting through here, that makes it hard for the Justice to hang around without taking way too much damage. Elsa couldn't get away from that self-destruct, so he lets his own go. It does zone well. Guido falls to Amon. And the Chengdu Hunters are on the way.
And I think with some of the ultimate usage there at the end, I would expect some changes here for the Justice. So Guido will stay on Zenyatta for now. Looked like Corey had gotten over to Tracer to maybe make it back as the Amon putting a lot of pressure on the Justice spawn as the Wrecking Ball moves on back. So
I don't know how Janus managed to slip through there. I thought he was just going to get body blocked in the doorway and end up going down. That would have been disastrous, but Guido sends a salvo of orb Bacon Jack's way. And Amon's getting a bit of attention now himself. At least the Justice know he's not worth chasing. So Amon's able to get away. God, it must be like a super pro playing that hero.
Feel like he was going on the flank here, actually used the Transcendence to get back to the team. It's not the ideal use of the Transcendence, but...
Oh! Okay, Janus looked like he had to jump into the Dragon Strike to even stay alive, and Amon tried to follow up there. In fairness, Janus was low. Nice Sonic Arrow there. That gives the Hunters all the information they really need to know about where the Justice have retreated to. But now Washington want to play the aggressive game. Transcendence.
You can back out here if you're the Hunters.
I think you do, right? Keo used his already, trying to get back to his team. Or do you, though? I mean, I've got to think like the Hunters now, not like Mitch Leslie. It's a bit different. Sansam desuited. Banker Jack down. Of course you throw the binds here. Of course.
There's a lot of people trapped here.
Ark was knocked up, man. He had no choice but to get blown up by the minefield. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if really that's what you want to spend on a fight like that, Chengdu, but they're getting close to another Transcendence here.
You need another Transcendence, you have another Dragon Strike here, so you'll have some ultimates to work with if you're the Hunters. I think we see Amon use the minefield like when he kind of gets behind players and tries to, you know, knock it behind them, or he uses it to help himself escape. We see that kind of how he uses them as well.
Giannis is low. Amon's found him here. He's looking to try and finish off the kill, but Jinmu's falling. You know, dueling Jinmu, and in fact, Bacon Jack as well. He is taking on the snipers of the Washington Justice and coming out on top a couple times. Jinmu's Dragon Strike just got eaten. Sansam obviously close enough to eat the arrow itself. You can't eat the dragon. That is quite rare to see.
Keo actually uses Transcendence. He was like on top of the self-destruct there from Sansam, so he has to use it. Then brings over to Amon to try and save him. Elsa's going to launch his self-destruct in. Why not? That team's just throwing ultimates all over the place. Why not? We got a Graviton Surge here up on the high ground. Looks like the Justice finally coming out on top of this fight.
Look, we've seen Chengdu in positions before in their matches where they played up against a composition that is objectively better than theirs, and they generally refuse to switch. So this is not out of character for them to keep forcing this. Couple changes here though. Amon going to the Reinhardt, and just as I say it, Chengdu decide to play nice.
But usually you don't play Reinhardt in this stage of the map because of all the verticality. Is this where you see it hurt the Hunters a little bit, where Amon does not really play any Winston? Like, they don't play any Winston at all.
I want to see if they can punish Giannis for overextending here, because it's something that's happened to him a lot, even without being against Reinhardt compositions. That's probably what they're hoping.
Yeah, even against like some of the weaker teams that play in the Reinhardt competition, they're still able to catch Giannis off guard.
Guido's so good today, by the way.
Yeah, he really is.
Look at Bakir now. Discord orb on an enemy Zenyatta, that's when you know you've got a score to settle. Arno and Corey have fallen here, so, well, it seems as if Giannis did walk into that one. Corey going down first, though, was probably the bigger concern for Washington. Chengdu were like, okay, fine, we'll play properly.
Yeah, but look, and this makes it difficult, though, for the Justice, because do you switch off of everything you do right now and try and match the Hunters? Because if you do, the Hunters will just go back to the spawn, they'll go back to the wrecking ball. And
can't pick Reinhardt, right?
Yeah. I mean, you pick Reinhardt, they will go back to the spawn and play ball, and they'll play the Pharah, and it puts you in a position where you can't win that rock, paper, scissors matchup, so to speak.
Amon will use the payload to break line of sight, which will prolong the life span of his shield. Oh, damn, Giannis. He got forced into that one. Yeah, he has to go for the primal rage now. That got forced out of him. See Amon trying to charge back and deal with him. Giannis not taking as much damage as you think he would with all this focus on him. So he gets out to safety. Sansam gets desuited though. Earth Shatter. Amon knew that Giannis wasn't there, but the Transcendence from Guido was well timed. Another great response from the flex support player in Washington. Guido looking excellent so far. Still the Justice being bundled back inside their own spawn. A minute and 45 seconds left on the clock here. Corey will need to be dislodged, and quickly. He gets a nice little high ground Zarya play with the desuit on Elsa. Bacon Jack trying to go for the Graviton Surge here. Both teams affected by them. Sansam self-destruct though. No results there. No one was able to set it up.
Yeah, Amon getting very close to another Shadow though. He's got it now. He falls right before he has an opportunity to use it, but the Hunters still have the advantage here on the card. They look good to be able to complete the map.
Sansam, he's in trouble here. Couple meters to go, that's going to be about it. And I'm quite sure that Giannis would like to add Amon to the list of names to train with in the off-season, but he doesn't have enough gym badges for that. And meanwhile, Amon's got that Master Ball, you feel me?
So that'll be all the points taken there for the Hunters. 1:17 in the bank. It's just the Justice is going to be so hard on the offensive end. So what do the Hunters run on D? Do they run... whether if they come out with like a Reinhardt version of the triple tank troll sword, they could play at the bunker, they could play like
I feel like they have like Winston in the 3-3 maybe.
They probably do, but then I think the Hunters expect it, like if the Torbjorn works so well, I think Gibraltar is a map where you can see some even better use of Torbjorn on the high ground. Do you see Torbjorn again? It's I'm happy. I'm not on the stage for the Justice trying to decide what we would be doing because you have zero clue what the Hunters are going to be doing.
You know, you don't even get as far as how do we counter this composition. Maybe as the Justice now in such a crucial moment, you're thinking of how could we best play our way whilst making concessions perhaps to the team comp of the enemy team. But like really, you're just gonna play your game, right? And hope that the comp you practice works out. I don't hate this in the Justice. Play Winston in 3-3, it's fine. I don't need to see Corey try and challenge, you know, with a Widowmaker or something like that. Jinmu playing Soldier is, I don't think I've seen a ton of that.
No, I mean, usually it's Bacon Jack, the one we see playing the hit scan heroes.
What do you think about the Tracer here into what will definitely be a Brigitte composition?
It's interesting, man. I mean, I never really... Well, I think if you're the Hunters, you expect the stuns from the Brigitte to be dedicated to Amon playing the Wrecking Ball, so I'm not exactly sure you're worried about it. I think for the Justice, the one thing you think you could have considered is maybe a Moira here, knowing there's no Diva on the other side. You're going to get a great value out of the orbs, and then also being able to survive a little bit on her own as opposed to, you know, the Zenyatta. You see the pile drive comes right on top.
I suppose they really
right
just
away.
want to be able to put an Orb of Harmony on Janus here. You just can't heal Janus, right? If he's diving in your Moira, what do? You fade after him and get rid of your own escape? I don't think so. So Elsa on a Sombra here. This is going to be really frustrating for the Justice to deal with, constantly getting hacked. Evil Tile there just has to return back to the high ground with the rest of their team. I'm very curious to see how Bacon Jack tries to throw. Is that Amon in the right? It is. Why? I don't know why he's here.
Why wouldn't he be there?
It just does what he
I think a lot of the positions you see him take with Wrecking Ball, though, are predicated off where he wants to use the grapple off of. Like, always puts himself in a position to have a way to get out or a way to move back.
They say you should travel the road less traveled, but it looks like Amon just like plows through mountains and makes his own tunnels. He does get Janus there. Kyo is going to go down though, but Amon's not worried about that. Kyo wasn't healing him anyway. They're going to keep playing forward, Matt. Jinmu with a tactical visor now. There's rarely a huge array of targets here against a 3-3 composition, so Soldier not going to be a fight winner. Oh, that's nasty! Ooh. He gets that one there on towards Gita, but seems to have had to avoid it. Like the stick well enough to me, so I don't know how he survived that one either way. It's going to be Corey going down, also getting the pick up there. Transcendence for Guido. Minefield being used, Ardo soaking up most of that damage now, and Amon just trying to roll away. Kyo now with the Coalescence. Janus, he has to use the Primal Rage. Probably just about to jump away. Might try and get you off the edge. Oh, that's so rough. He used his ultimate just to stay live long enough to get aggressive. He still gets burst down, Matt.
And I mean, this is the composition we saw the Hunters play the other day on Blizzard World against the Paris Eternal, and now the payload has started to get moving here. So the Justice have gotten pretty close here to point A. Without your main tank here, your only tank for the Hunters, how do you go contest this? It's probably going to have to be Bacon Jack.
Shout out to Observers, by the way. This looks like an absolute nightmare to capture all the action of. There are 12 engagements happening at any one time across the map. Self-destruct in. Sam probably just wanting to try and get his mech back here. The Justice know they just need to keep going. Janus is in trouble though. Pulse bomb in the corner. It's enough to get the kill confirmed there. Sam getting bubbled. Jinmu
Falling on the pedal!
The Justice get there and manage to get to point A from the Hunters.
It's the only thing we were missing in this match.
We got it. We got the letter number, Matt.
We did it, fam.
I can't ask for anything else now. I mean, I won't ask for anything else now.
All right, so Jinmu playing the Doomfist now, so I kind of like him better on like the Hanzo and the Pharah and like things like the Genji and the Doomfist as opposed to the hit scan. I think like Bacon Jack has really proven to be like a really strong hit scan player.
So Jinmu, I mean, there will be an element of surprise briefly. If you can get a burst kill, that would be quite nice. Good against tanks normally, but Jinmu immediately gets caught up in Sonic Graviton Surge. Immediately Corey lets that one go. And that Justice need that. Keep pushing on. Guido had used the Transcendence. How long till they get rid of Chengdu now? How long till they finally get them off the payload? There it is, Amon stalling, he's gone.
So now we've switched off of Doomfist, gone over to the Brigitte, so maybe you're just trying to get like a one-hit kill. So it seems like now we're gonna see, the Reinhardt version of the triple tank triple support here out of the Hunters. So it seems like they feel now that they're pretty confident of falling back on this.
You really have to drag this Chengdu team kicking and screaming in front of 3-3 to make them play it. But they know they need to defend against point B here. The series hangs in the balance. Bacon Jack down to Corey here, and Amon can't do too much against Janus during Primal Rage. Didn't take too much damage in all fairness, but now he gets thrown in the bubble, so no healing for him. Elsa's trying to help him out, but his defense matrix isn't going to stop much of that damage. And the Chengdu Hunters have lost their grip on point B as well by the looks of things. Jinmu just stands there and waits, and Elsa knows he's done.
you need to build up some ultimates here. If you're the Hunters, I think Bacon Jack actually got the forward spawn, but he's able to make it all the way towards the back. So no follow-up possibility here for the Justice, as their offenses look very strong against all of the looks that the Hunters have thrown at them. Now, can they break through this? Jonas will actually switch over to Reinhardt, so gonna get a mirror matchup here.
I wonder if that provokes the Hunters to make a switch up here at any stage. They probably don't have the option to go back, so they'll take the Ryan battle.
I think they were able to make the Reinhardt work against them on offense really quickly through that second stage, and even there at the end, so they probably decided to go to it a little bit faster.
Another grab here for Glory, man. There it is, gets laid on down. Q has the Transcendence though this time. No self-destruct for Sansum, so very hard to break Hunters through that setup of ultimates. Chengdu are pressing Q a lot of times. Self-destruct gets thrown in over the top without any consideration for Graviton, which Bacon Jack is still working on generating. So many ultimates, no kills, which is kind of the stage 1 advantage. It still holds true here. All right, Sansum, self-destruct. Sound barrier here. All right, and that does keep the Hunters alive, but barely. Jinmu's looking very average. Anyone's able to get away, though, at the very least here. And you can see that, well, all up in the sky over there, Elsa was dueling with Sansum for a moment. Arc got knocked down there. The only person affected by that Earth Shatter, and Bacon Jack, he wanted a bit of that extra charge, man, but he pushed too far. Janus with 3 now. And the Hunters starting to fall apart.
Yeah, they had to have known that Arc had sound barrier was close, so when they land that Shatter and they actually knock Arc down, they try and push forward and get that kill. They're just not able to follow it up.
Right, Giannis in the doorway. Transcendence for the Hunters. Charging Amon out.
I don't think anyone came out the other door. They were a little bit slow. Yeah.
They got grabbed there. Ironically enough, had that happened a second earlier, Amon would have been able to contest the payload for the Hunters because Giannis had charged him into it. But still, looks like both teams are able to finish the map here on Gibraltar. About a minute between the two of them. Washington do have that lead and are set up with a chance to take this series over to a map number 5. We'll see you in a few moments and see if they can get there. Washington Justice, it is a recovery on the attacking side of Gibraltar, showing that they played that solid style, the 3-3. They can withstand the Hunters' onslaught when they move to defense here. It was Giannis, Matt, setting it up, big fire strike, and then short-range charge. You'd love to see those.
Yeah, and it was big. The shield at the beginning was actually when Arc had gotten shattered. So using that shield to keep Arc alive. Once he's up, you're able to go through. Giannis picks up 3 and gets the payload moving. So the Hunters come out. Same thing they ran the last offense. Didn't really work for them at the beginning.
They can see this. I don't think the Justice realized that they got Sonic arrowed in that room. Although Chengdu, with that information, they do nothing. So perhaps they weren't confident, even maybe having more information than their opponents did. Either way, they've now managed to bait the Justice out into the open, and this could be their undoing. Repair pack there, thrown at Giannis, if I'm not mistaken, in midair. That's a satisfying sound. Jinmu wants a few more of those ones.
Yeah, Giannis got dinged again there by Jinmu, so he had to back out.
Corey could be in danger here if they can cut him off. Giannis has to push out now.
Pretty much a save Corey.
Yeah, nicely done. Amon is down. Giannis gets the punch in. And there's 27 seconds now.
I don't think they know Bacon Jack's all the way on this flank as Widowmaker. Oh yeah, no, Sansum actually he's caught him out now. Yep.
And really, who are you one-shotting? I guess Ado, if you can get around a shield. Guido, maybe. Widow into this comp is just a bit odd. Double sniper in general, so he switches to Zaya. You have 9 seconds to charge and grab Bacon Jack. See how it goes. Oh, I like this. I mean, a wall in this underpass splitting the Justice apart could be what the Hunters need to push forward. Let's see if Jinmu plays it correctly. Coalescence out. Oh, we might need to use it for self-defense there. Yeah, straight into Ice Block, but Ado is actually caught. Can they find him? You see Guido's trying to peek over the top of the wall. And he gets 2! Ado and I fall down to the minefield. Elsa is 1 now. All the supports are down for the Washington Justice. And Corey tries to duel out with Amon, but he knows he can't. Chengdu bring out the Mei. And it gives him at least a fighting chance.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Mei, you're able to put the wall up, ice block, just hold on to that point for a little bit as Looks like Jinmu actually gets slept here, so Guido hits where the sleep dart is. They have taken point A, so that's actually kind of big now, because the Justice, when they all go on offense, I mean, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. At this point, any type of progress is good here.
Getting point A is huge, Chengdu. With that amount of time, it's very good. It's not easy to get that first checkpoint.
They'll play Ana Zin with a Reinhardt and a Mate here. That's going to be...
door shots.
Yep, but you do have the Transcendence here to keep them alive for a little bit.
Jinmu was able to use Ice Block there. You can see Bacon Jack was being body blocked, but Elsa's able to get there. Oh, I don't think they're going to be able to stay on the payload. Kyo has to try and touch. Bacon Jack now shielding up. Great timing to go for that grab there from Corey. As the door shut as well, splitting the Hunters in half. Well, now it's pretty clear, man, what the Justice need to do. I think get point A, and they're probably going to be fine after that point. Guido looking animated. So they should. They have that chance to secure a map 5 here.
I feel like this is one of Guido's better series.
He's looked great.
Overall. As a support player, I mean, we know what he's done in the past as a damage dealer, but moving over to flex support, like last year, and then obviously coming in this year for the Justice, I feel like this is one of his stronger performances.
Getting a chance to shine with this roster as well. Didn't really have as many opportunities as he would have liked with the Dynasty. It looks good here. It's very well integrated. So,
did he get stuck on the other side of the door?
I think so. Look, yeah, see if he's... Oh,
he did.
Hate that. Oh, he hates it so
go
much.
all the way around. Oh, nice play. Nice play from Giannis.
Oh, you just stop playing, right? You just take your hands off the controls and be done with it. Nice job from Giannis. So that's where the Justice need to get to with the payload. They have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Why the double sniper again from the Hunters? Like every time they've run this comp, they've had to switch off of it because it hasn't worked. So they're going to run it again on D.
I don't know.
So don't think we'll see the Guido sim. So.
I kind of think they're like Vancouver, you know, they just kind of want to play what they want to play. I don't know what the coach, I wonder what the coach tells them, like, please play your standard, and they just ignore him.
Well, I think they don't want to play the Pharah because I think they use Corey with
nice.
Oh yeah, they've caught Giannis. Yep, he's super dead. Oh, but they barely. How do you let him get out of there?
And that shouldn't be happening. Still, a huge amount of free damage. Both the bigger bodies and the Washington Justice were down to like 10% health. And they are given a chance to regenerate. So you're mad about that. That's a huge missed opportunity here. Jinmu grouped twice in quick succession. Can't be a huge fan of that.
He's put down so much damage already, though. Basically at a Dragon Strike. Just haven't even been able to follow any of this up.
Here. Look, like the Justice realized, oh, we actually need to move the payload. We can't go challenge that. You have to know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that Dragon Strike.
That is straight to the ground.
Yeah, look, because of how close he was to the ground when he fired it, there's only a very short amount of Dragon that actually exists. It just plows into the ground and then disappears. So
I think he actually probably like tried to get it through the tunnel and like get it down towards the payload, but when he got knocked off, I think that probably just changed the direction of it. But it's really, really weird.
Not great, was it? Coalescence here. Bacon Jack is going to pop the infra site just to make sure that no one's going to sneak up on him. But Jinmu goes down again. He needs to be here for this. Okay, he's putting down a lot of damage. Guido falls, they couldn't fade away from that one.
It's a lot of their healing as well.
A minefield here, Matt, could really stop the Justice.
Through this room.
Amon can see them. Oh yeah, there's a present for you. Some doo-doo with a bag set on fire out your front door. Corey walks straight into it. It's like slapstick comedy, except a little bit grosser. Even Otto walked into one as well. Amon is busy doing other things since then. He's not even worrying about you. That minefield, man.
Trying to bait Samsung into one.
Yeah, Sansam took the bait. He chased after Jinmu. Amon was there. Self-destructing from Sansam. Can Amon avoid it? He can. Guido get a shot. Gonna get 2 headshots in quick succession from Bacon Jack. Completely shutting the Justice down. And now there's 20 seconds left.
So the Justice have nothing to work with here. No ultimates. You're gonna have Transcendence self-destruct here for the Hunters. The Justice has to be a perfect push. Then they win this.
Self-destruct for Elsa. A Transcendence for Kyo here. The Justice have nothing but a couple sticks to rub together. Let's see if they can heat it up. Giannis just got hammered there. Jinmu didn't even land his rocket punch. And that's Guido again! You can fade away from a self-destruct, but he couldn't escape it. Seismic Slam knocks Otto up, and his shield bashes into the minefield. Giannis going down to it as well. Corey's got to save the day now. He found 2 kills, but Elsa finally shuts him down. It wasn't enough. So close, Washington. So close. No cigar, though. And the rock stars of the Overwatch League continue to crank out power chords. That's a 3-1 series victory for the Chengdu Hunters, who refuse to play the game in a remotely normal, remotely analyzable, remotely conventional fashion. It just doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, they looked much more vulnerable today, though, than they did against Paris. Against Paris, they looked like, you know, the world beaters. Today, they looked strong, but I definitely think they looked a little bit weaker. I thought the Justice definitely did some nice things today as well when we saw them go against the Hunters, but not enough in the end.
Washington Justice, we've seen them play very much leaning still on a comp that was popular last stage at 3-3. They're still trying to master it. They're still trying to put the finishing touches on it. But teams like Chengdu, have already moved on. In fact, they never played that style. The rest of Washington's competition in the league will also have moved on to try and add other compositions to their repertoire. At some point, you have to look outward at that and realize that perhaps you need to diversify your offering a bit too. I'm very happy with Guido. He had an excellent series.
Guido had a very good series.
Excellent. Yeah. Corey had some really great moments there as well. And even Janus, who often is criticized of over-aggressive and over-extension. But I have to say, Chengdu Hunters, very impressed with them. Amon, we called him out at the start of the game. We said, if you're going to deal with this team, you have to deal with this player.
They never know.
And I asked you, like, what kind of heroes do you need to pick? Like, how do you shut down a Wrecking Ball, especially now that he doesn't stop when he's applying his shield? And he said, like, you need to almost craft your comp around answering one player. It's insane. We'll get some words from the man himself, though, now as we head down to the stage with Emily and Amon.
That's right, you guys. I am standing here with the Giga Chat himself, Amon. Congratulations on another win. So, 你可能已经知道了，就是破坏球是你的招牌英雄，对吧？对。那你说实话，你认为你自己是不是联盟最强的破坏球 ？So everybody already knows that you are the wrecking ball, but do you think you're the best wrecking ball in the league?
没错，就是我。
Absolutely, it's me. I'm the best. 那么刚才在半场呢，我们的主持人 Brand 在示范，就给 Sideshow 示范怎么使用破坏球，但是他一直失败，所以我们能不能把他请过来，然后你好好的示范一下到底怎么用破坏球？你觉得 OK 吗？
好的。
好。All right. So earlier during halftime, one of our analysts, Brand, was successfully showing Sideshow how to use Wrecking Ball, but unfortunately I think he needs your help. So can we get Bren up over here so that you can show him for real how to use Wrecking Ball? So Bren, if we can just kind of have you here, maybe crouch down a little bit.
Yep, I'll bow down to the Yotta Chat any day of the week. Anytime. Yeah.
不是这样，而是这样。
All right, there we go. And that is how you use Wrecking Ball. Thank you guys so much. Back to you, the casters.
Yes! Didn't need any convincing. It was like, hey, you okay with squeezing this on Bred's head? Yeah, he got boom!
Pile driver.
Fantastic
Oh, I love it.
I really appreciate that gentleman down there. Again, great performance from him. It's time, though, to have a look at our player of the match. So, when we have a moment brought to you by Omen by HP. Now, we couldn't put Elsa's Torbjorn turret in there, but we found the next best thing. There. Amon, look, he gets player of the match. His contributions continue to be extremely large for just being in that main tank role. He's out there doing damage. He's out there finding individual targets. He's playing an assassin. He's playing a frontliner. He's controlling space with that minefield. We saw Elsa play fantastically the other day. He definitely goes home with the honors today.
And I think in a game like Overwatch, where mobility is so key, with a hero who is just so mobile by themselves and so sustainable on their own, it's so difficult to play up against. I mean, look at the adaptive shielding, 15k. That's 15k extra shield.
That's health for one hero.
200 players knocked back, just the displacement, the extra shields on his own. Doesn't need a ton of the resources, right? Because he's able to just stay alive, roll around. It's just such a difference maker for this team. And there's not really another team in the league that can mimic the playstyle.
Put it in perspective, right? Zenyatta has 150 shield. Let's say 200 health. That's like 100 heroes worth of health. That is insane. It's been a great week so far, ladies and gentlemen, and today's had some very interesting game. At least it wasn't for Overwatch all the way through. Coming up next, though, we're going to cast a fond view back over the week and the day that was with our Watch Point poster after Brenda's got the orange pips out of your hair. From myself, Mitch Leslie, from Matt Morello, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
video game.